everybody. Okay, so as usual, first on the list of things to talk about today is the last Doctor Who episode called Time Heist, Season 8, Episode 5. Now, I was like wondering why exactly is the Doctor robbing a bank? Because, the Doctor is a good person generally, so he would have to have a reason to be robbing a bank. I mean, there had to have been some legitimate reason for him wanting to rob a bank, and I'm glad it was like because as it was going, it was kind of like some Ocean's 11 wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Yes, I said wibbly wobbly timey wimey thing because it's hard to explain. Like he set up his own heist. But yeah, he set up his own heist, which I thought was very cool. It, Usually when I watch Doctor Who, I just sit back and just let it happen, and then the puzzle pieces fall together. To try and analyze what's happening while it's happening is usually like I'm just like screw it. But in the end, we saw that the reason the Doctor did this heist in the first place was to rescue a species that was locked in a vault, and the other alien that was, I guess they were both partners, had to serve the boss's nefarious purposes, because if somebody you loved was held in captivity and you knew the only way to keep them alive was to do whatever it is that the person is holding them captive told you to do, you would do it. So in the end, the person what was her name? Calabraxis? Yeah, she owned the gigantic bank. I guess wanted to atone for her sins. So she called the Doctor to help her to make peace with what she had done. So I thought it had a sweet ending. Of course, the Doctor assembled his ragtag team of criminals to try and break into the bank. And there was this one guy. What was his name? Sif, Sai, Sign. I don't remember, but he was like part computer thingy, and he had like um, computer components in his head and to the side. He totally reminded me of Tecmo from the regular show. I'm so serious. Like as soon as I saw that character, I was like, "Oh my god, Tecmo!" Tecmo became like live action person. It was really cool. So curious what's gonna happen next week, because as we can see, it appears that Clara is kind of being run ragged between her life with Danny and her life with the Doctor. I would just tell Danny, like, listen, sometimes I hang out with a time traveler, so that's why I'm so busy all the time. Granted, he would think that she was insane, but hey, she told the truth, and it's not like she can't prove that the Doctor is a time traveler. Plus, I think the adventures with your boyfriend would be fun. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's it for me for today on Doctor Who. Looking forward to the next upcoming episode. So, now on to Intruders. This was episode 5, yeah, called The Shepherds and the Fox. I have it on my phone. And I'm going to be honest, I was a bit ill when I was watching this episode, so things are a bit blurry in my head, like what happened. But obviously, Marcus was either a sociopath or a psychopath. Like Marcus, Marcus needs to go. Marcus is dropping bodies like flies, and somebody needs to put an end to Marcus. John Sims' character, I think, is before the end of the last episode. He was still, a bit on the fence about what's going on. I think he was still trying his, like, he didn't want to believe what was actually happening is happening. I guess it would be hard to believe that what you're seeing is really what's going on. But when his friend Frank, poor Frank, starts to unravel and is like babbling on about ghosts and this ghost machine, and that his baby is like possessed by this ghost, and he's like, dude, you need some rest, obviously. You But I think John Sims' character, can't remember John Sims' character's name. I can remember John Sims' name now. Um, I think when he realized, well, the fact that there's a hit out on him placed by this person called Rose, and I think it hits home to him that he's in a lot of trouble is when he realizes that his wife is now Rose. So no, you can't trust anybody. Like, you can't trust your wife is no longer your wife. Your friends unraveling. There are hitmen after you. What are you going to do? Who can you turn to and say, okay, this is what's happening to me. Help me. So no, I think that he is now forced to believe Frank because it, the literal turn of when he starts realizing that maybe Frank isn't so insane after all is like that. When you realize that your wife is Rose and your wife placed a hit out on it, I think it's kind of hard to imagine. So we're gonna see what happens next week because I don't know the situation what's gonna happen with Marcus. Marcus wants to get in contact with Rose. I don't know if Marcus wants to kill Rose. More than likely, because Marcus seems like he wants to kill a lot of people. I don't know if James Frayne is gonna. Well, James Frayne had his opportunity to get rid of Marcus and fumbled that. So let's see what happens. Clearly, Marcus is a thorn in everybody's side that needs to be gotten rid of. But then at the same time, that whole shady set of people need to be gotten rid of because they're possessing people and snatching their souls. Like, no, you die, you just go. Stop trying to body jump invasion of the body snatchers. That's not cool. That's not right. That's messed up. But we will see what happens next week. I don't remember the preview for next week. Again, I say I was sick, so I'm pretty sure something weird and creepy is gonna happen because the whole show is weird and creepy. So now we're on to the strain. This is season 1, episode 11, and it was called The Third Rail because they went vampire hunting today. In this episode, they went vampire hunting in dark, creepy subways where I would abandon subways where I would assume that vampires would go and nest. As we saw, Ephraim heard his wife and kind of went a little AWOL from the team in search of his wife that he's hearing in the subways, and he's going after her. And I'm like, Ephraim, I'm thinking to myself, Ephraim, I know you're hearing your wife, but what plausible reason would she have to be in there? Think about this. Think about this carefully. As you abandon your team, just think about this. And then Ephraim comes face to face with the master and he realizes, holy crap, I think this whole time Ephraim has been thinking that maybe Abraham has been a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and it's just, yes, he's seen the Strigoi, the vampires, all the worms and stuff, but never fully believing that there's this master, or I don't know, maybe he thought the master was this little thing that could be easily killed. If that were the case, I think Abraham would have taken care of that years ago, obviously. But in, Ephraim trying to, I don't know, getting captured by the master, and then the team having to come and rescue Ephraim, we see that Abraham just becomes unhinged and is like, no, 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 we have to find the master, we have to kill him now. Even though they're running out of ammunition, they have no more UV light bulb strobe thing, which was very cool, very Blade-esque. Even though Blade's technology was, not so rudimentary, but very cool. He's just hell bent on destroying the master. Like, we have to do this now. We have to do this now. And I'm like, I understand your urgency. I understand your need to want to kill this creature because he's pretty much ruined your life and he's going to ruin so many other lives, but you can't do this with just the four of you. The master has manipulated so many people and has so many little yucky things in his lair waiting. The four of you can't take them on. But Abraham does go buck wild on that coffin that he built. Takes a sledgehammer to that and just destroys it. I think it gave him a sense of satisfaction. Like, he was forced to build that thing for the master. When he was in the concentration camps, and I guess destroying it gave him some form of release. Like, at least I crushed this one thing that belongs to you. At least. So we'll see what happens. There's only 2 episodes left, so the end is nigh. Because I mean, right now there's in the episodes there's like looting happening. People are just going dead. Nobody's getting in contact with anybody. You can see that the panic is slowly starting to build. Are we gonna end up into like maybe a post-apocalyptic wasteland kind of stuff? I don't know. I always enjoy those. I should probably read the books. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get the books and read them, and we'll see what happens in the next 2 episodes. Masters of Sex. Okay, I'm not going to spend too long on Masters of Sex because the one thing I wanted to happen happened. Libby had sex. Thank you. Yes. Oh, high five. High five to Libby. Good job, girl. Proud of you. Proud of you. You deserve some sex. I'm very happy. I think what pushed Libby over the edge was that I think she herself saw something between Virginia and Bill. I don't know if she fully realizes that Bill Bill. I don't know if she realizes that Bill has been having this affair with Virginia for a long time, but she knows something and she feels something and she sees something now, and it's like, you know what? It's my time now. It's my time to be selfish because Libby is pretty much Libby has been there for Bill. I'm not saying that Libby's like heart of gold, because I mean the way she treated Cora, not cool. That whole lice incident, that was not cool. But you know, your husband's out getting blowjobs from prostitutes and sleeping with his co-workers, and you're at home tending to the kids, and nothing's happening for you. No, and that's the only thing I'm going to talk about. Libby had sex and it looked great. I am jealous. She looked like she had a wonderful time. You go, Frank. Amen. Okay, so Monday was a premiere of Sleepy Hollow season 2 and Big Bang Theory season 8. So first I'm gonna just touch a little on Big Bang Theory. I like the fact that we see the characters growing. Penny is no longer working at Cheesecake Factory. And I don't know if she's still pursuing her acting career. God, I hope not. Like, bless Penny's heart, but that wasn't gonna happen. So, she's trying out this new job venture, so hopefully that works out for her. Sheldon came back from his train trip around America. That didn't go according to plan. He got robbed, but it's Sheldon, of course. He was gonna get robbed anyway. So we see that Sheldon now has the opportunity to not study string theory anymore. He wants to study. I don't know. I remember what the theory was he wanted to study, but he'd become a professor, which I don't know, sounds pretty good to me. But of course, Sheldon being Sheldon's like no, and whine and moan about it, and then eventually does it because any plan that he doesn't think of by himself can't be a good plan. And of course, he butt heads with Wolowitz because Wolowitz is now trying to pursue his doctorate, which I think is very cool because they're all doctors except Wolowitz. And I guess Wolowitz finally is like, I think it's time to get that PhD going. So, and Wolowitz, brave soul he is, decides to take Sheldon's class. I don't know why. Like, why would you subject yourself to such torture knowing that Sheldon thinks you're an idiot anyway? But they somehow manage to get past their differences. And hopefully, hopefully, the season goes very well. I'm happy to see. I'm happy one of my favorite comedies is back because, like I said, I don't watch a lot of comedies, so I hold on to the ones that I have. 8 seasons, so that's pretty good. Hopefully, are they gonna get to a season 10? Like, which show? Supernatural season getting a season 10 now. You go Supernatural. Anyway, so that was just my little rant on the Big Bang Theory. Funny as always. No disappointments from the Big Bang Theory fan here. So looking forward to season 8.